Hey folks, it is time for what would normally be a Q&A video on Earth's disaster cycle. However, every single question that has come in since December 17th is answered in the Earth disaster playlist. If you are new here, if you have any questions, if you submitted a question in the last couple of days, go down below the video, click the Earth disaster playlist. No, you're not going to pull off watching the whole thing in one day. Yes, it is completely unfair to those who have been here, those who have been doing the homework, those who have been watching and rewatching in many cases, to have to sit and listen through the same questions over and over again. So I may not always take this stance, but today I'm going to take this stance. I'm not answering any of the questions that came in the last 3 days because they're all multiple repeat questions. We're going to do something else instead. How do we know what's going on at the moment? We're going to take a look at this list right here. So we have these historic cycles. This happens about every 12,000 years. We notice things happening at the half mark at 6,000 years, 3,000 years, the half mark of that, 1,500 years, the half mark of that. These are rock solid in the evidence. The big one that we're coming up on now, the 12,000 year cycle reset, it involves the solar micronova, the magnetic pole shift, the crustal displacement, major volcanoes, major climate shifts, things like that. Beyond the fact that this is a recurring cycle, the timing, we are the exact amount of time in the cycle to have another one. And what do you know? We are seeing everything that we would expect to see if, in fact, this timing was correct and we are having another event now. This is Earth's magnetic field is shifting. The magnetic poles are moving. The magnetic field protecting our planet is weakening. The ionosphere, the layer of ions in between the atmosphere and the magnetic field, it is showing sustained perturbation despite the fact that solar activity is slightly on the decline. If solar activity is slightly on the decline, the perturbation of the ionosphere should be on the decline, except our protection from the sun is diminishing, and so the ionosphere is still getting perturbed despite the fact that the sun is not producing as much. We are seeing several of the expected effects in the atmosphere, including on the jet streams. We are seeing the effects on Earth's rotation, which is speeding up. It broke the record fastest rotation day in 2020 again this year and is expected to do it again next year. We are seeing the effects on psychology, and we are even seeing all of the stories in mythological and religious texts that are supposed to be happening with the population around this time, both individually and as a global culture as a whole, pretty much following the story right on par. In addition to that, we are seeing changes on all the other planets indicative of the solar system shift. We are seeing changes on the sun in terms of chemistry and its magnetic fields. We are seeing changes in interplanetary space, all of which suggest that it is in fact the galactic magnetic reversal coming with the galactic current sheet that is hitting us. And if it is in fact the galactic current sheet, we should be able to look towards the center of the galaxy and see the stars having gone off in the same way we expect our sun to. Boom, 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 right at the sun. And that is exactly what we see. Everything here suggests it is time for another cycle. Everything you would want to see. There are no more holes. This is not Swiss cheese. They have all been filled in. Everything you'd want to see to confirm that this is happening is present and before us. And so I will be a little strict with you guys today. Either go ahead and ignore this and don't ask questions, or go do your homework. Because tens of thousands of other people here have done their homework. If you think you're going to get through this situation on a whim, as a passing fancy, being a weekend warrior with it, not actually putting forth considerable amounts of effort, I got bad news for you. This is going to take a serious effort of your mind to understand the information, of your preparation in terms of what's coming. And then in the aftermath, it's going to take even more, both physically and from your mental fortitude. So why don't you start now and do your homework? If you are upset with the tone and the perspective I'm having on this, you should see some of the other emails that aren't asking questions. Like, who are all these people who think that they can just come in and ask questions without actually doing the homework? Why do all these people crowd out the comment section, crowd your email inbox? I'm not even sure how they know that's happening. They probably presume, and they presume correctly. Makes it much harder for me to find original questions. If you care enough to ask the question, care enough to do the homework, I will be firm on this. This is not going to be easy. I have spent thousands of hours reading papers, reading news from the right places. I have spent thousands of hours making these videos, making these books. I have spent thousands of hours putting them together for you in a very easy to understand communication. Take advantage of it. I don't know where else you can get something like this. Literally, all your questions are answered right like that. Anyway, that's the list right there. This is what we're dealing with. I'll see you in the morning for the daily show. Be safe, everyone.